Hi there, welcome to EsoBOFH's Garage. You might be familiar with my other videos on the FRS BRZ, which I no longer have, and unfortunately I still have a racing bug in me. So that is going to be satisfied over the winter months by doing some karting. So I've actually purchased an old, well, it's not old, but a used frame off of Craigslist. It's a BRM racing frame. It's a 30mm construction. Nice setup. Unfortunately, doesn't have an engine, doesn't have a seat, missing a whole bunch of components that need to be built into it. So what I'm going to do is produce a series of videos that show how we get that kart up and running. The plan is to have it be part of the Clone class, so that a guy can just buy a cheap 4-stroke Clone motor, and by Clone I mean a Honda Clone, and have some fun out at the track with it. So hopefully that's going to satiate my my racing desires and my need to go fast, although it's not that fast, but it's fun. So we're going to start with the engine, the Clone engine. So I just went and picked one of these up from Princess Auto. For you folks down in the States, Princess Auto is a Canadian institution very much like Harbor Freight, selling cheap Chinese goods to Americans and Canadians for, well, cheap. And this is no exception. So this is a 6.5 horse Honda. It is 200cc. Well, I should say it's a clone of the Honda 200cc, but it's actually listed as 196cc, and I'm not sure if that's just to get around it being an exact duplicate of the 200 or not. I don't know. In its stock form, it's producing 6.5 horsepower, although I've heard people say that it's more like 4.5 and can vary up to 7 because there's not a whole lot of quality control there. Some people actually dynoed them, and that was the plan here, to actually do some dyno work on this thing and step through it as I make changes to it. So carburetor adjustments, removing the governor, changing the carburetor, air filters, jet springs, all that kind of stuff to kind of bring it up into more performance on the car. But the only dyno it's going to run on is the butt dyno. So we're going to make changes, put it on the kart as it is stock, and run it. Get it through break-in period, actually put some oil, gas, run it, get it through that, and then we're going to do the governor removal, which means taking all that oil out after it's been run and that sort of thing. So this video we're going to look at what actually comes in the box, and we're going to hopefully mount this and get it running. So we'll have our first start up and run, and you know, take it through the paces of RPM. And I've got a little tachometer that we can use that came with my outboard. It's a tiny tach. I'm sure some of you are familiar with that, and that'll give us some baseline readings as far as what the performance is, at least what RPM it's hitting, and then we can also track that through the changes. Alright, so what do you actually get in this Clone box? Well, let's open it up. Alright, so we get a handy dandy operator's manual, and this is covers all the models through 156 through to 190. So I guess this company produces a number of different things. Doesn't say who actually builds it, but we know it's made in China. The box is full of styrofoam, as per anything that comes in a box. Alright, and we have a protective plastic wrap on the motor. And I was a little bit alarmed because as I was carrying this box through, it was jiggling and rattling, so I thought, okay, maybe some parts have fallen off, but told there may actually be some tools in it, some silica gel. I'll eat that later, that looks delicious. And okay, yeah, so here's our, yeah, there's the source of our rattling, right there. What do we get here? That's obviously a spark plug remover tool with a T-handle. Yay, in case you don't have a socket setter, basic tools, I suppose. Someone that's just using this. These are really commonly used for, well, probably the most commonly for go-karts, but I think the intention is to sell them as replacements for genuine Honda Briggs & Stratton engines on things like rototillers, pressure washers, that sort of thing. I think the majority of the market is really all about the go-karting though. Alright, so let's pull this thing out. I'm lifting it up right by the gas tank, because I don't really care. If it was a genuine Honda, well, I'm sure it would stand up to that too. So, anyway, bottom of the box is nothing but some more styrofoam. They got an integrated crankshaft rest on there and that's nicely set up anyway for travel. So if you're to build this motor and you want to ship it somewhere or travel with it, it'd be worth keeping that, because those certainly protect it. So throw that aside and let's take a good look at this. Let's zoom right up here and see if we can get a good look at this. So yeah, so you got the fuel tank, air filter, exhaust, you know, your spark plug, overhead valves, spark plug and cap, carburetor in here, and this is something that we'll be changing out, although not right away. Like I said, we'll run it stock and make different adjustments, different exhaust, different intakes, different jets. There's the crankshaft with a guard on there, and it is keyed. I can just turn that. And you can see there, or perhaps not, might be too far away, but it is keyed already, so it has a key in the shaft, protective cover. I don't think that key will come out, but I'll keep that cover on there just in case. And you have two oil filler openings, so depending on where you mount this thing, you can fill it from either side. And here's some interesting bits here that we're going to get rid of fairly quickly as well. This is a kill switch, obviously, off and on, and this is the low oil warning system. So there's a little sensor in there. I don't know if it's a float or temperature or what it does, but if the oil is low, it cuts it off. Interestingly, there's also a drain here on this side at the bottom, so you can drain it from the back, as well on this side, another drain, so you can drain it from that side as well. So anyway, there you have it. Throttle lever is here. You got your choke there, fuel on and off. It's set up, you know, pretty well identical to what an actual Honda GX200 would look like. So I'm told that parts are interchangeable, and I'm kind of banking on that. So we've got a crank brace breather, or the fuel fumes and vapor breather goes into the carburetor. And you've got standards. This is actually a steel gas tank, it's not plastic. It's got a nice little filter insert, and we'll use that through our break-in and all this kind of stuff until we start making some modifications. But this fuel tank's going to go pretty quick too. On the Karts, you have the fuel tank located in the middle. We're going to replace this with a pump system to use the centrally located fuel tank, which is larger and will distribute the weight a little bit better on the Kart. So anyway, there it is. So let's get this bad boy mounted. Okay, so ready to fire this up, and I think I understand why they don't use the stock gas tank if it's on that 15 degree